Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 182. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Sup, people? It is Thursday. It is Throwdown time.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
And Adam Vale.
R-Train for life.
For life, man. All right, people, we're back with another one. We don't know where Brian is. He's probably saving the queen again. He's always saving the queen, apparently.
He's probably selling
He's a
chickens.
spy. He's part of that spy agency they have out there.
He's a Kingsman.
Yeah,
that's why he's only up at night for the early nights to do the show. Because during the day he's running around saving lives and shit.
And apparently Brett got stolen by a tornado, right? As we discussed before the show.
Obviously now Brett is going to be in in Oz for the next few shows.
Yeah, he's going to be in Oz for whatever reason. All right, so we're probably going to have a light show for you people. Not only do we not have that many topics, but Brett is in here. Let's just be real.
Tons of topics.
Well, you know what we're going to do? I have our main topics here, and then at the end of it, if you guys, feel we, left something, Adam, specifically talking to you, throw it in there,
I gotta see where we go with it, because I'm sure I just feel like there are all kinds of little things, not big things besides Red Dead.
Yeah.
A lot of little things I feel.
So we'll have a what do they call it? Like a lightning round and shit at the end.
Lightning round.
Speaking about lightning. All right. Remember, Adam, the red thing goes into the lightning.
Red thing into the lightning.
All right, man. Let's do this, man. So we got to talk. Speaking about God of War, we got to talk about God of War, man. The game has sold 3.1 million copies in 3 days, son. Shit is crazy right now. I'll bring it up later, but again, I find it very funny, as I talked about in my latest video, Tony's Takes. Single player games are dead, right? Single player games don't have impact. This shit seems to have impact.
These were the words of a specific of quite a bit of people.
Yeah,
very high profile people. We're not going to mention who said these sorts of things.
Yeah, it was certain individuals and certain companies. It wasn't just one person. Now they're all looking stupid. So what do you guys think about these sales? Actually, you know what? Let's get into it, man. Because I know people are going to want us to compare our predictions, right? So let's get into it. I predicted 3.5 million. Chris, you just said over 3 million. Carlos, you said 2.9.
By the way, clarification before we move further, we predicted first week sales.
Yeah, first week. Even though 3 days is first week, but we'll get to that later. As Brian said, we could all be wrong by the end of the week. Technically speaking, we could all be wrong. But yeah, and Adam, did you have any predictions? I don't think you did.
$1 billion.
Yeah, you did. That's right.
I just ate high. No, I mean, come on now. Just the reviews alone, even if you're not a fan of the series and you're just buying it for a kid or buying it just for yourself, you're a casual gamer and you see 10, you're like, shit, why not? Let's see. 10s? Come on now. That deserves my money.
Yeah, it's like y'all buy 2 of them,
Sell. It's going to sell just for that alone.
It's already selling. I am curious why they didn't give the full first week sales, but I guess within the first 3 days they already beat them records.
Yo, Tony, they still counting, man.
That's what I'm saying, man. They're like, damn, there's too much money we got.
There's too many votes in the ballot, man.
Yeah,
you gotta count them up.
That's the thing, though. So even though me and Chris were kind of right, we could still be technically wrong if this motherfucker ends up selling 5 million in the first week. I don't think it's gonna do that much, but I'm just saying, this shit is crazy right now,
Yeah, I said 5 million the first month, right?
Yeah, Chris, if it does 5 million the first week, man, what would you say to that?
Wow. Everybody thought I was crazy for saying 5 in a month. If it does 5 in a week, I'm vindicated because I said 8 in 90 days. It will be on trajectory to if at that pace, even with slowdown, it would surpass Uncharted 4's yearly sales in 3 months.
Damn, man.
So that's crazy to me. But we'll wait and see. But that's still insane. Is it the highest PS4 exclusive? Or
yes.
PlayStation. Oh, okay.
At least from the get-go, yeah, definitely.
Yes, that's what they're touting. I guess because it took them 3 days to beat their previous record. That's why they threw it out there instead of giving out the full week. But still pretty amazing, Again, just because of the fact that all these companies, these heads of companies were saying all this nonsense about how these games don't have impact, shit like that, right?
Is somebody tapping Bobby Kotick on the shoulder? It's like, yo, Black Ops 4 doesn't have single player, man. You may want to fix that.
Have you here? Here's just a slight a derailment. But have you ever noticed how many actual games that Activision makes per year? It's not a lot.
They don't need to, because a lot of the games they do come out with make a shit ton of money.
Yeah, they really don't. They really kind of cut all the fat, and they only really do like Call of Duty games per year, and that's about it.
World of Warcraft.
They live off of Overwatch.
Yeah, and World of Warcraft is still making money too.
I mean, the thing, but they haven't made any new games. They just have everybody installed on these systems,
and they keep putting money into those games. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. They're not selling new games. What's going on, people? By the way, we got
Destiny.
A lot of Destiny. Is that that is? I thought that was a yay.
That was that he's
no.
Right.
I'm just talking about games that they put money into.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Big titles like trying to sword people in. We know the Call of Duty and
wait, Activision does do Destiny, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They put this Bungie.
Remember that's what Anthem is trying to derail, right?
Yeah. That's I think they have to redo a lot of Anthem now, man. After this shit, man, they're gonna have to do a lot of rethinking.
I'm looking for that. That's what I got popcorn for. I want to see that fucking thing crash and burn. They deserve it.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
sorry. I know a lot of talented people work on that shit, and I don't want to see. The last thing I want to see is another studio close down because EA corporate's a bunch of shitbags. But honestly, the fucking greed and stuff they've shown over the last year, we may have a law about loot boxes, man. So fuck them.
Right. We may be on some Belgium shit soon.
Yeah.
Fuck
that shit, man. Get out of here.
Yeah, but that's the main thing I want to talk about. It's like I just find it funny how all these big wigs, all these analysts, right, all these dudes saying that's it, single player games. And even today, fucking I think it was the New York Times or something. I couldn't read the whole thing because obviously there's if you're not subscribed to them, you can't read it. But it was the stupidest fucking thing. Chris, I don't know if you saw this. Like, 150 million gamers in America, all they want to do is hang out with each other and play Fortnite. Some bullshit like that. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. What the fuck are you talking about?
Even if they do, so what?
No, but here it gets to the whole point, and not to derail it. They get to the whole point where these people think that gamers are a homogenous group. They don't realize that gamers are different people. They're diverse. Not everybody wants to play fucking Overwatch or watch Overwatch or Fortnite, whatever. So same shit. I don't want to get in trouble for saying that, but you know what I'm saying. It's like they think that everybody just wants these competitive games. God of War is proven that's not the case.
Yeah.
It's funny that it has to prove that something has to prove that it isn't the case when it really isn't. It was
never the case. Never been the case.
Yeah. I mean, if that was the case, the Switch wouldn't have sold.
Yeah,
right?
That's right. That's right.
Most of those games are not multiplayer games.
Yeah.
Now I got to look up this fucking art. This article was so. But again, I couldn't read the whole thing. I could only read the first 3 paragraphs, so it was so dumb.
But again, it just lumps everyone in. All gamers are violent. All we play is violent shooters and all this bullshit. Same nonsense as before.
Yeah. Hold on a second, because it was here we go. Thank you, Robert Workman, for sending this shit. This is fucking stupid. And again, I'm fluffing it out because we're probably gonna run out of time if we don't. Okay, check this out. Video games are beginning their takeover of the real world. Across America this year, companies are turning malls, movie theaters, storefronts, and parking garages into neighborhood esports arenas. At the same time, content farms are spinning up in Los Angeles, where managers now see gamers as some peculiar new form of famous person to cultivate, half athlete, half influencer. As much as it is powered by the obsession with one game, Fortnite. Over the last month, people have spent more than whatever bullshit. But let me just read the main thing here. Okay, America's 150 million gamers want to gather. They want to sit next to each other, elbow to elbow, controller to controller. They want the lighting to be cool, the snacks to be hot pockets, and they want a full bar because they aren't teenagers anymore.
Wait, this is just America?
Yes.
Yeah.
150 million people in America are Fortnite players, or come on, man.
It's saying almost half the country is gamers.
That's bullshit.
Because you realize what was the population in the United States, like 330 million?
Yeah,
So
I don't remember the last time I even had a hot pocket.
Yeah,
hot pocket.
Who wrote this? A freaking grandpa?
A grandma, a grandma.
The New York Times. So I guess that does count.
Well,
Give me a hot pocket and a beer.
Here's the thing about the New York Times. Once things in other types of media gets to the New York Times, it's already been done and gone with. So they're late to the party and uninformed.
You know what these 150 million people aren't doing? They aren't buying newspapers, you fucks. So enjoy that.
Well, I'm just mesmerized by this fucking tweet. Again, I need to read. I'm sorry, I need to read this again. This is insane. America's 150 million gamers want to gather. They want to sit next to each other, elbow to elbow, controller to controller. They want the lighting to be cool, the snacks to be Hot Pockets, and they want a full bar because they aren't teenagers anymore. Every sentence in this is insane.
It's fucking ridiculous.
As a matter of fact, every sentence is crazier than the next one. It's like, oh my god!
You know, they're like within these 150 million people, they're lumping in people who play Fortnite,
games.
play Candy Crush, play God of War, play an JRPG, play fucking Pokemon Go for like half an hour, and then uninstall the application after they played it, and they're done with games. They're lumping in. This is the most generalization someone can do to a certain subset of people.
Yeah, it sounds like they're building up a narrative about gamers to something. They're probably gonna say gamers shouldn't vote or some shit.
Oh yeah,
well,
gamers are prone to be violent.
Yeah.
Chris, you almost got me in trouble. I stopped myself before I said it though.
Yeah,
because according to them, gamers started a certain political group, but we're not getting into that.
And it's like once you get 150, like Chris said, it's almost half the country's population.
The country, yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you can cherry pick whatever you want and generalize the whole thing about it. It's like Hot Pockets. I'm like, what? So Doritos and Mountain Dew too, and I don't know, fucking LaCroix, Pepsi, Coke. Like you can just throw in fucking words because I'm pretty sure there's a substantial amount of people within 150 million people in America that like any kind of thing.
Yeah, these generalizations are ridiculous because it's like, if all of us were doing the same fucking thing, Fortnite would be replacing movie theaters because we obviously want no other entertainment. Hot Pockets would have enough money. Whatever company owns it would just open up restaurants with it because they're making so much money. I'm like, you realize how like retarded this fucking tweet is? It's ridiculous.
It's fucking stupid, man. But again, you know, what about do 3 million of those 150 million like they don't count because they bought God of War? You know what I'm saying? It's
crazy,
man,
they also don't count because a bunch of those also don't count because they've been went to see Infinity War.
Right. Oh my god. Okay, Captain what's on? Thank you for subscribing to us on Twitch. Or it's follow on Twitch. Subscribe means money. You're not exchanging money. I need to change that fucking font, by the way. I can't read it because I made it Twitch purple. I'm having a hard time reading this shit whenever it comes on.
Man, that's that natural. Purple is a naturally dark color. You should give it a little bit of a higher hue.
Yeah, I will do that because like half the time I have to go. Thank you, random person, for following us on Twitch because I can't read the name. Like on YouTube, easy. You know.
Yeah, it's that blue color.
Yeah. No, YouTube is red.
Okay.
And I would say Mixer, but nobody gives a fuck about us on Mixer.
Is Mixer? I hope
Mixer's blue.
Mixer's Xbox
blue.
green.
No, it's blue.
Boo.
Yeah, do Violet. No, because Captain what's on because I try to make it Twitch purple, but. Yeah, it's hard to read. You know what's going on, Vishal? Where you been, bro? I think he said he was doing college or something. You know,
doing college? You get educated?
Yeah, educated?
Shit!
Yeah.
You're amounting debt that you'll have for the rest of your life.
Oh, yeah, my loans are paid.
Yeah.
Damn, sucker free Sunday.
Oh yeah, Fonzie, we're having a little bit of an issue with Mixer. I tried reconnecting it; it kept giving us shit, but nobody watches us over there, so whatever. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yo, man, Cicero watches on there.
That is true. Oh shit, that's right. I can't miss any Cicero action, man.
Yeah, we need more bets.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I just find it ridiculous how we're talking like the main topic is we're praising the hell out of a game that just sold 3.1 million
single
copies.
player game.
Right, a single player game. And it's less than 1% of the 150 million population. So it's like when we're bragging about, or not bragging, when we're celebrating a game for selling less than 1% of the whole population of gaming, then that's just like, that's how you know the gaming community is not just one entity. It's not homogenous.
It is to them, like, because remember that, you know, all 150 million, they're lumping everybody that plays games, even on mobile games and stuff. I didn't know my mom liked Hot Pockets, son. She plays fucking Angry Birds all day. But, you know, okay. I didn't know she wants to go to arenas and shit. Okay.
She watching Twitch? She watching Twitch streamers?
She watching Twitch, man.
She giving super chats.
These people are so clueless. I swear, man.
Yeah,
it's funny. All right, man. Anything else you guys want to say on God of War's sales?
That's impressive.
Can't wait till it gets on Switch. What? It's gonna be bad.
The hottest one.
It's really good. I hope it sells 9 million by the end of the year.
Oh shit. Yo, if it sells that much, man,
we get to give a free game to the fans.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. The bet, man. All right, man. Let's move on here. So this is interesting. New Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer dropped. Right, looks great as always. Carlos, you did rightly bring up there's no fucking gameplay in the bitch. You know,
who needs gameplay?
I see cinematics.
Just show a bunch of cinematics.
That's it. We don't need no gameplay.
Yeah, but obviously the big deal out of this trailer. And it's funny because the whole trailer I'm watching, I'm like, where the fuck is John Marston? Where's the fuck is John Marston? Whole trailer finished. I'm like, I guess they didn't show John Marston. And then Manny goes, oh, did you see John Marston? I'm like, where the fuck was he? Then he shows me the picture right there in your fucking face. And I missed it.
I sent you the timestamp too.
I was like, damn. So yeah, John Marston's in it. But here's where it gets funny, right? Actually, you know what? Because I got some funny stories related to this, but we'll get to that. What did you guys think of the new trailer? I was getting ahead of myself.
Well, you don't play as him. You play it as Morgan.
Yeah, no. What do you think of the actual trailer and shit? You know,
trailer. It's cool. It's a story. You know, it's a prequel. You know what I mean? It's like, it is what it is. A lot of people were upset about that too, because they're like, well, we already know the outcome of what's going to happen. It was like, yeah, well, I'm sure there's other things going on, and we'll get to that story. But it looks fine. I'm excited. So,
Manny.
Yeah.
What do I think of it? I thought it looked cool. I just, the thing is just, like what we said before, there's no real gameplay for it. It's just a bunch of cinematics, which is fine.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that during the summer, we're going to get, in Red Dead Redemption 2, you play as a cowboy. You know?
Well, those are always very informative, so... You know what would be funny? If they just spoof everybody. It was like, all right, you want to see some gameplay? And then they did it in the form of the old GTA, the top down.
Oh, shit.
You know, when you're running around and you get on a horse and like, and you can fart while you're on the horse. Oh, man.
Chris, what'd you think, man?
Well, I mean, I think they're just giving subtle hints of the stuff you'll be able to do, like heist, but with trains and stages and banks and stuff. So it's like GTA themed to the Old West, you know. So, but I'm wondering if they're going to try something like have it like online all the time, where you're interacting with other people, or it's just going to be two split things like GTA is now. That's what I'm curious about, because I got the feeling like, okay, like heist and all that stuff, there was some of it in GTA 5, but it really is GTA Online that has that stuff. So I started to think, and I was like, I wonder if it's just going to be like you're in a lobby all the time, and you can play your single player stuff, but there's people around you.
Oh,
Gunsmoke.
Bringing it back.
That's a great game
in my life. That was an awesome game. Oh man, remember that? You got the two guns, pop, 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 in the face.
Pop, 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 pop. All right, Carlos, man.
Well, I like a lot of people online was expecting sort of that blowout gameplay trailer, like and sort of the style they did to Red Dead Redemption 1. It's like, and you mentioned it earlier, Tony. It's like in Red Dead Redemption, It's like going over all
you
the
play
things
as
you
a
can do.
cowboy. Yeah, my bad,
Also-
people. I forgot to unmute myself. I was just giving you the truth praise for Gunsmoke, man. That shit is hot. Anyway, go ahead.
So yeah, I expected a gameplay trailer. I mean, I like the trailer they showed, but it's not something that's and I think this is a problem with a lot of people. It's not something that's going to get you more hyped about the game. To be honest, there wasn't anything that just showed you that something different. Everything that was in the trailer was sort of expected and kind of a bare bones trailer. It's like
But Carlos, at this point, are you not sold already? Like, do you really need
that's what I'm
anything
saying.
else?
You know,
You know what I mean? That's like I think that's the whole thing. Think about it. We need a surprise, right?
yeah.
We need a surprise. Let that be the surprise. We know it's gonna be hot. There's no way they can fuck up. They haven't fucked up. I can't. If they do, man, I'd be like that guy during that game. I'll eat some poo, some horse poo. There's no damn way they're gonna screw this up.
No, yeah, the game's definitely going to be. I mean, I'm expecting it to be great. Most people are expecting it to be great, but I'm just saying that this trailer did not really build up any hype. Like there wasn't anything there that got people excited more than they already are. To some people, it was kind of boring or meh to them. I saw some.
I think it flushed out what people are expecting or what they should be expecting from it, because now it's legit. Now we know, okay, it's Dutch and that crew and what's going on. Oh wow, there's a twist. We're not playing as John. Everybody thought we were going to be playing as John in this one. Who knows? Maybe they might pull a swerve and we might get that whole GTA 5 jump in, jump out. We don't know. But right now, it looks like we're just playing as somebody else, part of the crew, and his story, which is cool because it's refreshing. But I would like to know a few things that we didn't find out, like how did John get with the prostitute? Remember?
Yeah.
He married her, right?
She
Also,
was in
that
she was
kid
in
is
there
Dutch's
too, by the
kid.
way.
Those type of things. I want to find some of that stuff out.
Yeah. By the way, I just to jump on what you said, Carlos. I did find it interesting because to me, I thought the trailer was just okay. It wasn't anything great. I'm already on board. What I found interesting was, at least on my end, the super excitement for it. Motherfuckers went crazy. I'm like, you didn't really get much, guys, but these guys are already hyped and shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, well, I was telling Tony, remember, and I said it in the chat when they first launched, it was getting more negative, more down votes. At first, I'm like, holy shit. I took a screenshot, but then sure enough, within like 10 minutes, it jumped to like 25K likes.
Yeah.
But the first few people that were watching it were kind of pissed. They were like, what the fuck?
Man, fuck this game, man, fuck this
game.
And
I saw the comments, and the main thing is, like we mentioned, like, where's the gameplay? No gameplay. Are they hiding something? I'm like, really? You think Rockstar are going to be hiding some shit like that?
They ain't hiding nothing,
They're not hiding. They're just trying to get you hyped for the story.
Yeah, we're going to get that shit later, We're going to get that. By the way, a wild Brett appears. Hello, Brett.
It's super effective.
Yeah. Brett, what'd you think of the Red Dead trailer, man?
I actually haven't had a chance to see it yet.
Gasp.
When did it come out?
Tuesday, I believe.
Wednesday.
Oh,
Wednesday.
Man,
okay, it was Wednesday.
I'm slacking. I don't even have a good excuse.
Yeah.
Did the tornadoes hit today? Did you get any tornadoes?
That was last night, and I had to shut down early. I was all set up to do some art, and then like 14 fucking tornadoes touched down around here.
They came over this way today. We had like 4 or 5 of them.
Wow.
Damn, man, that shit is crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy in the Midwest.
Yeah, but anyways, let's get to the fun stuff here. It wasn't anything heavy, actually, let me bring it back. I keep getting ahead of myself tonight. Okay, so basically, if you guys remember the lobster incident from a couple months ago, right? That happened because, I was mentioned in the Twitter timeline or Twitter moments, where the fuck it is. So I made it to Twitter moments again, but thankfully there was no bullshit, because I made it in Twitter moments because I was like, yo, was that John Marston in the trailer? Like, shit, that's awesome, right? So I made it into one moment, but I had people comment at me, nothing crazy or anything, but they were like, man, what you talking about? How is that John Marston? Like, he's dead. I'm like, bro, did you not see the part where the trailer says 1899? Red Dead Redemption 1 in 1911? Come on. Yeah. And then one guy's like, yo, how do you know, man? How do you know that's not Jack? I'm like, because Jack wasn't born in that time, maybe?
Because math.
There's a guy even there sitting.
Is that how time works?
Yeah, and then my favorite one, I was like, how do you know that? How do you know that's John Marston? I'm like, well, if you look at his face, he has the same scars that he does in the first game, but they're fresh and even has stitches. Oh, but anybody could have scars on their faces.
Number
like,
one,
right,
it looks exactly like a young John Marston, plain and simple. That's all it looks like. So, and not to mention the time that this thing is taking place, right? And not to mention you're on fucking Dutch's gang.
Yeah,
why wouldn't you see friggin' John Marston?
It's like doing a Scarface prequel, and they show a guy with a scar in his face, and it's not the guy.
Well, no, okay, come on. In fairness, there could be a lot of guys that look just like him that have exact wounds in the place that he later scars in Dutch. I mean, how many people in Dutch's gang, number one, and then how many of them have these scars? It's got to be a metric fuckload, right?
Right, exactly.
Or one? Just one?
Yeah.
Just one, huh? Okay.
Well, and yeah, because Dutch's gang is filled with a bunch of guys that just so happen to look like John Marston.
Well, I mean, when you have that as many people as Dutch's gang, I mean, what is Dutch have like 2,000, 3,000 people in his gang? I mean, it's not like it's only like what 5 or 7 people or something like that.
Exactly. There's bound to be some guys with scars on their faces with long hair. Yeah,
I mean, when you have that many people in your gang, that's what happens. I mean, now if you only had a gang of like 6 people, and you know they were all well known, and we all know who they were, and one of them looked exactly like a young protagonist from the last one with fresh wounds that later turned into scars, then you might have a leg to stand on. But until that happens,
this is the shit I had to deal with for like in a couple of hours. I'm like, are you guys serious right now? One guy's like, oh, that's really stupid sarcasm on your part. I'm like, who's being sarcastic?
No. Here's the $1 million question: how do we know it's Kratos in God of War?
Yeah, Ryan. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, he has a beard. Kratos
doesn't have a full beard. He has a goatee.
Exactly. Kratos. When does Kratos have a son? Nah, that's not him. You crazy.
His skin is obviously not as white in this game. Plenty of people who are incredibly pale have a tattoo that goes from over their face and curls onto their shoulder.
Yeah, by the way, I mean, Hussein says you would be surprised how clueless some people are in the world. I'm not surprised. Like, I'm never surprised by this stuff. When I saw, I'm like, yeah, that's par for the course right there. People are fucking dumb. It's Jack Marston. Really, it's Jack Marston. 1899 is Jack Marston. And Dutch's gang. Dutch, the guy you kill at the end of the first game. Okay, sure. It's not. Yeah. It's a sequel. Come on, man.
No, you're getting what they're probably going to do is they're going to probably explore Dutch's gang and something's going to happen or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure some of those other guys in there are guys you killed in the first game too.
Yep.
You know? Oh, man, it's funny. But yeah, you know, like go ahead, Chris. What were you going to say?
No, if they want the Jack Marston game, in 3 years he'll be in Battlefield 1.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, man. It's silliness. But anyway, again, I kind of tend to agree with you know, the consensus here. It's like we're already on board, we're already hyped. Just, you know, let's give me this fucking game. That's all I want, man.
I don't know how did people think that
Manny's still on that
Red Dead Redemption took place in the original Red Dead Redemption took place in the 1800s. Fucking John Marston gets a 1911.
Manny, I'm gonna break it. Hold on, bro. Before you go, I'm gonna break it down because I'm gonna show the stupidity of people too. You know why they think it's a sequel? Because it has the number 2 on it. That's why. Let's just be honest here.
That's not entirely true.
They didn't call it Red Dead Redemption 2 Origins.
Yeah, because
they didn't call it Zero.
Yeah. If they call it Zero, people understand. Remember, people are fucking dumb, so that's why. You know.
Well, there's another aspect to it too, and that's that Red Dead 1. There's no way in fucking hell that game actually took place. I know it's supposed to take place in 1911. There was nowhere that looked like that in 1911. I've seen pictures of the actual photographs of the place where this game was supposed, the General Geographic, there are giant sprawling cities as far as the eye can see. Like literally, you cannot see from one side to the other. There are dirt roads and warehouses. It is a giant fucking city. There was no Wild West in 1911. There wasn't. And so Rockstar confused a shitload of people because they basically took 1860 and put it in 1911 and went, yeah, that makes sense.
And most people know their history. They show a Model T.
Yeah.
No, they show a couple of things like that, but
and a
nowhere in
1911.
Texas looked like that in 1911.
Yeah, no, but even in the game itself, it's like, yeah, that Wild West shit has been long gone. What the fuck you guys doing?
But have you seen pictures of
period of time?
Yeah, like there were like, keep in mind, 9 years after that was when the Great Depression happened. Like, even New York was like a fully established, thriving metropolis, and they don't really portray anything like that. So I can understand if people weren't paying attention to the date, and maybe I'm giving people too much credit here. If you're not paying attention to the date, you could easily be like, Red Dead 1 seems like what takes place in like 1860, 1870 maybe, kind of thing. Like, it doesn't feel like it takes place after 1900.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, but the way I took it was like, because obviously, you know, there were bigger cities. New York did not look like that back then too. But this is the way I saw it, and the way they kind of explained it. It's like there were still pockets out in the West that looked like that, even in 1911. So that's what they were basing it on. You know, that's what Rockstar said. They were like, there's still pockets in the country that looked like that in the old, you know, in the West. Back in those days,
they were going out into a desert like Nevada and around that area, and that's what they were trying to say. Yeah, I mean, some of those areas still look dead if you go down there.
So here's a dumb question: why did they make it 1911?
I don't know.
I think they wanted.
Well, they said they wanted to make it different than a typical Western. They wanted to kind of show the end of the era, which is also what this game is doing too. Because even in 1899, that shit was long over. You know, but you know they want to capture that feels like, yeah, this is the end of the era. This is the last gasp.
But that's not what that area looked like, because it's based in the southwest, California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. That's not what those territories looked like in 1911.
So you're telling me that there's no place, and we're getting off track here. There's no place that looked like that at all in 1911. There was no place in America that looked exactly like that.
There may have been a couple. No, there actually was no place, because there was no wide open prairie or range. It was all owned at that point. There wasn't towns in the middle of nowhere. When you got outside the city, you'd see huge cattle ranches. So no, that kind of place didn't exist. And if it did, it existed so far out in the boonies that it's not even considered an actual city, much less a major metropolitan hub, as they make Red Dead out to be in that game.
No, they didn't. It was only that one city that was actually made out to be.
Yeah, like and there were. What was that? What city was that?
I don't know. Remember, the game doesn't actually take place in a real state.
It doesn't. Man. It doesn't take place in a real area.
Yeah,
because there are areas in it that look like Montana. Like the mountains look like Montana. You know what I mean? So it's like a mixture of a bunch of archetypes of Westerns in this one little area. Kind of like Grand Theft Auto is not exactly.
Yeah, and by the way, they didn't make this official yet, but they did hint that Red Dead Redemption is what GTA's world was back in those days. So it could, they could be toying with shit. It's not supposed to be 100% accurate, So take that with a grain of salt. But Brett, by and large, you are correct. You are correct, But I think this game's just twisting things just a little bit.
No, it absolutely is. And don't get me wrong. I'm not being a hair splitting asshole here, being like, well, technically this game takes place in blah blah. All I'm saying is, the problem is that the game feels like it takes place earlier than it does. Yeah. And so it feels like, even though they beat the band to say that this Wild West thing is tapering off, nobody's looking at it saying, well, 1911, and after that there really weren't any cowboys, because there weren't any fucking cowboys in 1911.
That's right. That shit was over, man. I mean,
so like the logical experiment, or the logical thing that would usually make you go, no, that's dumb. It didn't work, because it never happened, because it was already based off a weird, skewed concept to begin with. So you can't really say that people are idiots for continuing to believe in it. Now, they're not paying attention to the dates or the numbers or any of the information in the game or any of the subtle clues or any of that other stuff. I'm only remarking on the one point of, you can't look at the game and be like, I mean, come on.
Yeah, no,
I'm sure it's mostly people who weren't paying attention.
They weren't paying attention. Let's just be honest.
No. Yeah, that's the 90% of it. For the 10% of people who weren't, who are actually sitting back and like, did that game really fucking take place in 1911? Yes, it did.
Yeah,
like 3 years before World War I.
Yeah, pretty much. They even kind of hint us like, oh, there's some shit going on in Europe. Yeah, because the thing about this, John Marston gets a 1911 gun in the game. That shit wasn't readily available at that time.
No, he just gets it like, so whoa,
here's a new gun. It's like, no, man. Oh man. Okay. Before moving on, we're gonna go back a little bit, because Brett, I want your thoughts on God of War selling 3.1 million in 3 days, man.
Before we move on from Red Dead, can I interject real quick?
Sure.
So I don't know if they've talked about it, but Vishal said in the chat, it seems like multiple characters are playable in Red Dead 2, just like GTA 5 is. Did anybody else
we don't
see
know
that?
that. No, I didn't see that at all. Yeah, we didn't. We can't make that jump because remember, this is the same thing people thought about with the Order 1886. Don't make that jump, people. Wait until they tell you. Don't make jumps like that. You know. All right.
I ain't gonna stop them from making no jumps.
No, they're gonna do it anyway. But I'm just saying, don't do it because you.
Do it.
Ooh. All right. Brett, God of War sales, go.
I told y'all.
Yeah, but by the way, Brett, you can't really go here because me and Chris agreed, pretty much. You know, we were off a little bit. Yeah.
Y'all were a little afraid to go up to the 4 mark.
For sure.
You said 3.5. I said 4. It hasn't hit 4 yet. It hasn't. But there's a little bit of pre-gloating because I'm pretty sure it's going to.
You think so? I'm sticking with my 3.5 because it's 3.1 right now, so I think it has time to go to 3.5. But I don't. 4 minutes too much.
There's like different tiers. It was like Brett and Chris were like on the far right of this kind of spectrum. Then it was Tony on to the left of you guys, and then it was me, and then it was Brian, and then I don't know where Manny and Adam were. I
don't make predictions.
Yeah, he does. Manny flat out said that. I don't make predictions. Actually, yeah, Brett, I want your thoughts, and I want Brian's thoughts on this. Obviously, go ahead, Brett. Finish your whatever you're saying.
Just I kind of expected it just with the growing market base, like because this whole thing had come up whether we were talking about whether it was going to beat out, was it Last of Us or Uncharted? One of those two. I think it was Uncharted.
Uncharted, yeah.
We were basing off on Uncharted 4's numbers, and the market share has just grown since then substantially. And this is such a big game that is not being weighed down by franchise fatigue. It is reinventing itself. It is not cutting corners. It is unapologetically aiming for a more mature audience. It is PlayStation love letters to its adult gamers who have been PlayStation fans for a while. So I was expecting it to be incredibly well received. And then the review scores just kind of put it over the top. It's kind of become a little bit of a phenomenon. And because of the single player story driven narrative nature of the game, a lot of people like myself included, felt compelled to jump on it because I don't want spoilers. I want to know what happens, and we all know it's going to be like fucking Game of Thrones where everybody's talking about it in 3 weeks. So that kind of drives an initial burst of sales. But it's also the reason that I think that this game isn't going to, it's the opposite of an evergreen title. This is going to be a flash in the pan, and then by the time Spider-Man comes out, it'll be relatively dropped off the charts. So it's what I thought before. It's what I still think now, and that's why I think it. There you go.
Cool. All right. And Brian, are you surprised by the sales? Because you said 2.0, basically 2 million. You know.
Well, I am very surprised. I mean, it did a lot more than I thought it actually would. Because again, I said 2 million in 1 week. Because again, I was like, since Uncharted and whatnot did like roughly those numbers in 1 week, so this will do like the same. So I was definitely the furthest off. So that's interesting. I guess people just really like this game. But as Brett said, I think this will be another flash in the pan in that it'll sell really well for the first couple of weeks, and then after that it'll just drop off to the point where people won't really remember it. Apart from when it comes to the end of the year when it's like, hey, Game of the Year awards, here's God of War.
And a bundle.
God of War.
Yeah, you know, like we talked about before, if they bundle this thing, I'm going with Chris on this one. That's going to sell 9 million by the end of this year.
There is a bundle.
Oh no! If they bundle it again for the holidays, remember that's what helped Uncharted. They bundled it again during the holidays.
They may. Indeed.
If they do that, the numbers are going to take off. But yeah, obviously during the summer, no one's.
But no, wait. There's a difference between a God of War bundle and God of War being bundled with your standard default PlayStation. That's the kind of shit.
It comes with a Pro.
Well, I know. No. That's not what I'm saying. How do I put it? Okay. When we went out to buy Rachel a PlayStation because we decided we each wanted a PlayStation, you don't get to buy just a PlayStation. It comes with a game. It's just bundles. Bundaroos out the ass. And so pretty much you have the choice of whatever hot game is at the moment that comes with your fucking PlayStation. For me, it was Call of Duty. Or for Rachel, it was Call of Duty. So we got a copy of Call of Duty and then immediately turned around, sold that shit.
Hold on, Brett. I got to stop you. Call of Duty. Just had to throw that in there.
So there's a difference between having a bundle option and having the game bundled with all of your systems by default. That second one gets a way bigger boost, and I'm pretty sure it's where a lot of Call of Duty numbers come from.
Okay.
So they're just saying there's a huge. Just think about the amount of difference in copies of the game that having a special limited edition God of War PlayStation Pro that you can buy, or God of War just coming with every fucking PlayStation sold from now on. That's a huge difference in the number of titles moved.
Here's my question: that Uncharted bundle, was that like just a standard bundle, or was it a special bundle?
That was a standard bundle.
Okay, so if that happens with God of War, because remember, we're basing it off of Uncharted. Yeah, this shit's gonna do crazy this fall, man.
Yeah, and that we were actually a little pissed because there was an Uncharted 3 bundle, or the PlayStation with Uncharted 3 had been being sold, and they just stopped selling it about maybe a month ahead of time. So like pretty much the last of the stock of the Uncharted PlayStations had gone out, which I was pissed because I ended up buying Uncharted anyway. So we're like, God damn it, they don't have the Uncharted bundled in it, but they have fucking Call of Duty. So Rachel and I are one of the numbers for those fucking Call of Duty games that they keep breaking records. And we didn't even open the goddamn thing.
Yeah, you don't want to play that shit.
No, but that tally mark is still there, and that's something that I realized really affects the market. Because as far as the market's concerned, between the two of us, we bought a Call of Duty game. There's no way in fuck I'd buy a Call of Duty game. Not because I think that they're terrible games. This is not my cup of tea, man. They're not my jam. But for some reason, it still counts. So if you're looking at the data shows Rachel liked Call of Duty, and she fucking didn't. So I think it affects and skews things quite a bit. So yes, if they give it the basic bundle boost, then everybody will be buying God of War, whether or not they even want to.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, man. All right, so now we'll move on. And Brett, I'm glad you showed up for this one, because this would have been 5 minutes of us just laughing. So I'm glad you're here for this. So Sea of Thieves has lost half its player base after they didn't renew their subscription for a Game Pass. What do you make of that?
Only half?
Did you? Okay, I'm surprised that you thought it was going to be more.
No, that means half the people bought box retail copies.
Maybe.
Most likely.
Damn.
Because there's nothing else on fucking Game Pass, man. There's no reason to keep your Game Pass shit up for the most part.
Yeah. Anyway,
but we got a what's it called? It's gonna come out for next week.
Oh, State of Decay's.
State of Decay Deuce.
State of Decay Deuce is coming out next week?
Yeah.
Well, maybe
$29. $29, and they put on Xbox. Was it? You get for $1, you get the month for Game Pass. They're trying to hype that up again, so they want people to do it.
Interesting. I fully expected this. I don't think it's as damning as you guys would imagine it to be. I mean, how many games, especially online games like this, have their player base in the first month? A lot, actually, quite a bit. I can tell you from experience, I've seen it happen to Warcraft on 5 separate occasions. Dude, getting in queue after launch for a month, you're sitting in queue for like 20 minutes, or at least you were back in the day when people cared. You're sitting in queue for 20 minutes just to get on the fucking server. And the problem was always that, and this is for those of you who don't know, because this is relevant information, so pay attention. When games come out that are based on having a server load, a lot of times a company has 2 choices. One is to make a plethora of servers, more than you need. The problem with that is when this happens, when your player base dies down, as it's going to, as the companies know that it's going to, as analysts know that it's going to, as everybody under the sun knows, as the player base knows that it's going to, then you're going to be left with ghost servers and very low server population. And then you have to, at least in the old days, talk about merging servers. And merging servers is a death sentence for most games. When you have to say that you're merging servers, it immediately bottoms out any kind of belief anybody has in the game. Everyone's like, oh, this game is dead, you know, even with Warcraft kind of deal. So what they do is they basically just let those population numbers stay really high. They don't spend the extra money to buy the servers, and they wait for the inevitable drop off of the player base to about halve itself. And then the servers run as intended. You can get in generally without a queue, and there's a healthy population. So that's why my initial reaction to this is only half, because that's actually pretty standard online / MMO numbers. And games like World of Warcraft generally are really good with the carrot and the stick and providing a metric fuck ton of content to always keep you constantly busy. So I'm actually a little yes.
So WoW lost half of its subscriptions after the first month.
Most of the time, every time an expansion came out, you would see a drastic upsurge in population to the point where you would be put into 2-hour queues. About a month after that, the hardcore players, there's an entire player base that jumps on, plays the content, and then leaves. And they'll do that until the next expansion. And the next expansion, they'll download, burn through the next 10 levels, play for another couple weeks, and then they'll put it down until the next expansion. They don't really like continuing to play after they've reached their end goal. When they've leveled to whatever the level cap is, they just kind of stop.
So you think after the next Sea of Thieves expansion, the servers are going to get clogged up?
Probably not as big as they were for launch, but you'll definitely see players returning. I've even talked to a few players who have kind of said the same, and they've all kind of said the same thing, which is actually kind of fairly similar to what MMO players tell me. It's, I got all the loot that I wanted. Now I'm just kind of waiting for them to put in more stuff. In this case, because it's non-progression based system, it's I got all the outfits and silly hats I wanted. So now I'm just kind of waiting for them to put out new stuff. But they are putting in new costumes. I think they've already put in new skins and new items available for download and everything like that. But I think the big thing that a lot of people are waiting for, from what I've heard, is the new content that's supposed to be coming this month. So we'll see. And I think that we'll actually see some player base return. But, you know, for all of our talk of doom and gloom and for all of the shit and salt around this game, I kind of half expected it to be a fucking ghost town by now. I didn't want that to be the case. So the fact that you have a 50% retention rate after a month on almost any game isn't bad, and especially for this game, it's better than I thought it would be.
Do we really know there's a 50% retention rate? That kind of
well, if you have a 50% drop off, that means there's a 50% retention.
No, but if you said that the other 50% were people who bought the game physically, how do you know some of them then did return it? How do you know they're still playing it? You know what I'm saying? So because I don't know.
You guys just said that you guys just said that they've lost half of their player base. So if they've lost half of their player base, that means they've retained the other half. That's the only way.
I don't know if you could say that. I don't know if you can say that.
Playing a game or not playing a game, man.
Well, think about it like this though. If half these people dropped Game Pass, how do you know the other half that are still on Game Pass are still playing the game? Understand? That's where I'm like, I don't know if you can make that jump, bro.
Oh wait, so we're saying that. So what is the actual data that we have? That people dropped Game Pass, or that they're not playing Sea of Thieves?
Well, that's where it gets murky. I'm glad you asked that. It seems that they got this information because half the people that were on Game Pass dropped this shit. You know. So and a lot of them apparently, I want to know where they got this information, only got Game Pass because of Sea of Thieves, you know. So it's a little murky. I would have liked.
It's a little speculative.
Yeah. Like this from Super Data too. I kind of wanted a little bit more data in there, you know.
For a site called Super Data, they ain't giving enough data.
Cheap with that data.
Maybe they want you to pay for it.
As a matter of fact, let's read this because
what we know is Game Pass subscriptions halved during a month where they didn't get a free game.
Right, let me read this whole thing. Maybe we could actually really make sense of it. Okay. Yeah, Sea of Thieves had 1.7 million monthly active users on console and 283,000 on PC during its launch month. However, more than half of these users obtained the game through the limited free trial offered as part of Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass. This leaves some unanswered questions concerning the long-term success of the title. So, see right there, that doesn't exactly tell me that half the player base left, you know?
No, but it told you, it just told you in black and white that a little under half, just under half, because it said just over half got the game through Game Pass. So the only other way to acquire the game other than Game Pass is full box retail. So if they're saying just over half the people downloaded it via Game Pass, I'm going to take that to mean about 55%. It means that actually 45% of this game was big box, full $60 retail sales. That is, again, higher than I thought. I would have thought 20% of this game would have been sold via boxes.
Nah, it's 40%, 45% actually sounds right to me. Even a little low, actually. I thought it was going to be half and half, maybe a little more towards, because people, they like their physical things.
But the game is pretty much free on Game Pass, and
yeah, no, that is true.
I expect a lot of people to be like, I get all the content that I want out of this for a month, and then if they add more content later, I'll resubscribe to Game Pass for a month. Yeah, and I'll play it for another 8 to 12 to 20 to 50 to 80 hours to whatever the fuck. Because I've heard people put hundreds of hours into this game already.
Wow, that's amazing. By the way, Honey's Gaming, aka Fonzie, he goes, I can't believe someone got Game Pass just for Sea of Thieves. Hey, don't give me and Carlos shit, man.
Yo, me too. Goddamn, don't think the hater rate, man.
Don't hate.
Yo, come on, Fonzie. I paid $1.
Yeah, I paid $2.50. I paid $2.50.
Yo, I borrowed $1 from a friend and he hooked me. Yo, I paid, man. I paid.
Yeah. By the way, I canceled that subscription today. That and Xbox Live. Done, son. But I got my Chivos. I got my
We need to talk.
I got my Chivos. So I got my Adam, I logged into that bitch, got my 7 achievements, and that's it.
But you know what?
Going home.
Here's the thing with the Xbox Live, because I remember when before the gold system, I'm pretty sure it said that you can keep all the games you have. That's what they kept saying was the difference between that and Plus, that you actually get to keep them. If you cancel, you keep them. Then later on, I found out you don't get to keep your Xbox One games, but you do get to keep your 360 backward compatible games. Yeah. So do you have any of those? Do you have any?
I don't know. By the way, CD Keys, brother, CD Keys, man, because he's like, didn't you guys pay $9.99? No, not in the house of Matumbo.
Blowout sale, everything must go.
I wasn't gonna pay $9.99 for that shit. Are you kidding me? Not for that game especially. But yeah.
But here's my point, and this is something I'm not sure how much traction I'll get, but I'll try it anyway.
Tony, do it.
A month after purchasing God of War, how much will you be playing God of War?
After I get the platinum, I'm probably not gonna touch it again until they do an expansion.
Okay. So
Brett,
just to clarify.
Brett, can I just jump in?
Yeah, go for
it. Tony is a different use case. As due to his job, he's going to be changing games no matter what. So I feel like using Tony as an example is a bad idea.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, because I am going to try to get the platinum, but I haven't played this game in a while because I've been doing other things. Remember, by the way,
that's fair. Let me ask you
just quickly, just to illustrate the point. Yesterday, I was asked, will I go back to replay Red Dead Redemption 1 before 2? I would love to. I cannot go back to play old games. So yeah, bad case, Brett. Use somebody else.
Okay.
How about
anybody?
Whoa! You said you can't go back to play old games, but we were just playing Burnout Paradise.
But that's different. That's a new game. That's a new game, son. That's a new game.
It's the same shit.
I never played on PS4.
You played it on PS3. It's the same game.
No, it's not.
Whether you played Red Dead,
there's some missing shit in there, bro. They didn't have the same. It may not look the same, but it's different. It's a different game, and I had to review it too. Anyway, let Brett continue, man.
Brett, can I just jump in just one more time? I see your point, and I agree with it.
Okay. No, you're right. Tony's about one to point out. I could say to everybody on the panel here, how long do you generally play a game after you've acquired it or purchased it? I would speculate a month is actually pretty normal. If you unless it's a big game like Persona or something like that, generally speaking, most games you're going to be done with or feel like you've gotten your content out in about a month.
It depends on the type of game. If it's a sport game, no, just keep playing it because it's a sport game. Or like
but that's one of those beautiful evergreen titles.
I was still playing Division before
the same for
God
you,
of War.
though, but Division, that's the way Division is for you. Most of us were done with Division within a month.
Why? It's so good.
I don't know, but is there anybody on the panel other than Adam who played Division for more than a month?
Fuck no.
What's a division?
Well, I don't know.
That being said,
Brett,
let me ask you.
I've been playing GTA 5 for 3 years, man.
There you go.
Yeah, there are exceptions to games. I've been playing GTA 5 for years as well, but
I never heard of GTI.
Yeah. By the way,
I'm sorry, being an ass.
By the way, before you go on, Brett, I need to poke a slight hole into because I know you're going with this. You just
go for it.
Okay. playing God of War for a month, which is probably for the average person 60 hours, is different than putting 3 hours into Sea of Thieves in a month. You know what I'm saying?
But see, that's a small fraction of people who tried the game and then immediately decided they didn't like it. There are a lot of people who have gotten at least 30 to 60 hours out of this game. Casual, normal people. A lot of those people who have moved on.
Well, Brett, since you like doing anecdotal evidence testing, we can do it here in this room with the people who've played Sea of Thieves. Has anybody put more than 5 hours into this game?
I haven't even put 1 hour.
Yeah,
I think. Well, maybe we did 1 hour. It probably no. I like. Yeah, maybe.
You can't do that because none of you guys liked
but it's
it
anecdotal.
in the first place.
Yeah, it's anecdotal though.
Yeah,
man.
but your friend, but your buddies that like it, like you're cherry picking, like I'm cherry picking. You know?
No, because I'm using games like The Division, which we all played and all enjoyed, and then all abandoned.
I didn't play that game.
Manny don't play shit but near, man.
But I didn't like The Division.
Listen, I don't fit in any of these categories because it took me a year to beat fucking Nier Automata.
Here's the thing.
So anyway,
here's where I'm going a different place with this than maybe you think that I am.
By the way, just a little caveat: when Brett says "you guys," he means everybody in the panel but Manny. Just throw that out there, and Brian too. Let's just be real.
I just exclude Manny from that shit because I know. My only point is that you could look at the data for many successful games and they would say the same thing. And I understand there are a lot of people out there who rabidly don't like this game, and that is your right. But you need to be careful interpreting the data based off the way that you want to read it, because as I said, there are many successful games and games that you guys love that their track record is going to read the same way if you pull out the statistics.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. But again, if you didn't enjoy the game, you're going to get different mileage out of it, you know?
Oh, well, yeah.
Like I'm not counting the guys that played Sea of Thieves for 40 hours and thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the guys like me and Carlos who played shit for 5 hours like, yeah, no, fuck this, you know? Like they'd rather go play God of War.
To the data. And basically my point is,
but what data?
The data that we're talking about.
But it's not data. You're bringing up anecdotal evidence.
The 50% drop off from Game Pass.
Well, we're talking about. Weren't you talking about like people who played it over 30 hours or something like that? I thought that's what we were talking about.
Well, I was using that point to segue into where I was going.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah,
I didn't see the segue. I didn't hear the segue, so maybe I just lost it.
I haven't closed the circle. God damn it!
The Ouroboros.
Motherfucker, you distracted me, you son of a bitch.
yo, man, he's making Ouroboros, man. The snake's gonna eat his tail, man.
I hate all of you.
I didn't do nothing.
Yeah, Brett likes Sea of Thieves. There you go.
Again, Manny, you're exempt from when I say all of you.
I didn't do nothing. Why are you picking on me, Brett?
No. There's nowhere in this data that says that there weren't people who played it and enjoyed it and then didn't It seems very normal to me to not renew for a second month, especially when you've gotten probably all of the content and all the play out of it that you want, and they're promising more content on the road. Like, why would you not cancel your subscription for a month? Like, I don't feel that that's an immediate sign of, I need more conclusive data if you're going to tell me it's because this game is dying.
By the way, we don't know whether they canceled a day after Sea of Thieves came out or a month after Sea of Thieves came out.
Good point. Good point. But anyway, Brett, I think the point you were trying to make before is that people who did play the game got the same mileage out of it as they would have like a God of War or Division or something like that. That's what you're trying to say, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. That people who played the game, and because there are people like me who for this is an evergreen title. There are people like you, Tony, who this was a nevergreen title.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
And then there's a much wider, like the 80% in the middle were people who played the game, they'll probably tell you they played the game, they got bored, and they walked away. And if you look at the numbers, they probably put in between 20 and 40 hours. And I'll be like, yeah, I got sick of rolling around doing piratey stuff, and there wasn't any other quests or anything like that, so I moved on, played God of War when it came out or whatever.
Played God of War on the Xbox.
Yeah,
they call it Rise there, man.
I think you'll see a bigger portion of that group of people than either of the two extremes, because I fully admit I'm one end of the extreme and Tony is the other, and I don't think either of us is really representational of a lot of the people who picked up this game.
I honestly think this game is more polarizing than you give it credit for. I think this game is just a whole bunch of Bretts and Tonys, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't really see. Yeah, I don't really see much in the way of like middle ground people. People either really love this game or don't give a fuck about it. There is no middle ground. There's no ambivalence about this game. Like, you don't hear anything like that with Sea of Thieves. You know.
I find that surprising in the sense that half the players who play this game then were Bretts. Like there's that many
like
out there?
Yeah, man.
There's that many of
You
us.
are not special.
I thought there were only dozens of us.
No,
Bretts are Xbox.
Brett. When we're talking about Bretts, we're talking about fanatics, and we're talking about Xbox guys, the most fanatical of the fanatical. Come on, son.
Yeah, a lot of people were hyped. I mean, kind of like a lot of console exclusives, they just get hyped up because they need to, like shine the brand up and pimp it out.
Yo,
yeah, but who's still playing it? That's
Brett,
my
I need to jump in, man. Okay, this is my anecdotal evidence. I think a lot of these dudes are playing it just to save face because they hype the fuck out of this game. They're like, fuck, I guess I don't like this game, but I gotta play it. I'm fucking around, but you know what I'm saying.
Dude, people that hyped up Cuphead and they didn't play that.
It's like fucking hate playing the game.
For hype.
Nah, but Cuphead exposed a lot of people, man.
Oh, I love that exposure. The same dudes that hyped up this game could not even finish the shit. Meanwhile, traditional non-Xbox people, like pretty much everybody on this panel that played the game, beat the shit. You know? So
okay,
come on
now
now.
here's another thing that I find interesting though, because I just found this out and it actually made me a little bit pissed.
Uh-oh.
So everybody was talking about how there's only these 3 factions and they want more factions and there's not enough content in this game. And once you beat these 3 factions, you can get Pirate Legend, and once you beat that, there's just nothing else to the game. And that seemed like legitimate criticism until I found out today that to max out all 3 factions and then the bonus 4th faction takes between 200 and 400 hours of gameplay time.
Do you think that Sea of Thieves is better than Destiny 2?
Yeah, but Brett, you're pretty much saying, so here's this objective that you guys didn't like. It takes 200 to 400 hours to progress it to Pirate King level or whatever it was. It's like you're just
exactly. That's like that's like going on Steam and seeing somebody like leave a negative review and you look at their playtime and you're like 489 hours, and you're like, motherfucker, are you leaving a review after playing a bad review after playing a game for almost 500 hours? Like, are you fucking kidding me? They're like, well, the game has all these problems, and one may argue that person should know, but I would argue you paid $30 and got 500 hours of at least mild entertainment out of it, or he spent 500 hours forcing himself to do something he hated, in which case he's an idiot.
Yeah, there's a lot of demented.
There's a lot of demented people, man. Let's just be real.
Brian, please back me up on this. People don't dump hundreds and hundreds of hours into games that they don't like.
Is this a Warframe kind of diss?
Yeah, Warframe's a good game, man.
I'm saying to Brian because Brian's probably read the same Steam reviews, and I'm assuming, or the same kinds of Steam reviews, and I'm assuming that he's at least somewhat of a like mind of like, you're not gonna put 300 hours into something you hate. Hey,
listen, people are in relationships with people they hate for years. They stick around.
Yeah, man.
People will do shit like that, man. Just saying,
Maybe I'm giving humanity too much credit.
You always do, man. That's why you got to come to me, man. I always look down on humans,
Damn filthy humans.
Good thing he's an alien.
Yeah, exactly. And that way, Brett, we balance each other out, man. I think we talked enough about this. So let's get into some fun stuff here. I threw this in at the last second. Manny has an interesting God of War theory.
I have a theory. Okay, let me just set this a little bit up. A long time ago, when we heard that Cory Barlog is going to be the director of God of War, I remember at least some of us saying, wow, what has he been doing since God of War 2? I will tell you what he has been doing since God of War 2. One of the biggest things he actually did was that he was working on a Mad Max video game. The video game was actually going to be a part of Mad Max, like connected to Mad Max Fury Road. For years they tried to get that game made, because of all kinds of weird sort of stuff that happened with the movie, where the film was supposed to have Mel Gibson, and they had some problems.
They made a game.
They did make a game, but that's not the Cory Barlog game. That's
not his game. That was
It was a game that was done. It was a game. It was a game that was done later on by the guys that made whatever the hell the Just Cause game. That game actually has nothing to do with what Cory Barlog was doing. His game was going to be a direct connection to the Mad Max Fury Road. In other words, it was going to be a prequel to tell what happened to Mad Max before Fury Road. That's why, you see all kinds of crazy stuff where, like, all of a sudden Max has his car again, all kinds of other things. So his game was going to be a prequel to the movie. In fact, what their idea was going to be is that they were going to have a comic, a game, an animation, and then the movie. So all this prequel content that was supposed to set it up. And this was like in the early 2000s or after, pretty much after, mid 2000s, essentially after when, God of War 2 came out. Then they had all kinds of problems with the production. They couldn't get it, and they couldn't film the movie until years and years later, which was when it came out. I can't remember. It was like 2014 or 15. The Mad Max Fury Road came out. My theory is that God of War might have or might be an adaptation of what he planned to do for a Mad Max game. Now you say to yourself, oh, but God of War has all these fantastical things and all that other stuff. But if you bring everything back to its barest minimum, Mad Max and Kratos are almost exactly the same sort of character. Both of their families were brutally murdered, and they went on to this revenge quest, right? So what if you take out all the fantastical elements of God of War 2? God of War, the new God of War game, and you break it down to a guy who was on this total crazy revenge quest. What if he decided he decided at some point he went into exile and had a family again? And what if that his wife died, and then he was forced to go on this quest to do this thing for his wife and get to know his estranged new child? Theoretically, that could easily fit into some sort of Mad Max game. So my theory is that maybe some elements of Mad Max actually did make their way into the new God of War game. And then the other thing is that to speak about the next Mad Max game, the one that came out not too long ago, that game was not approved by George Miller, the guy who created Mad Max. In fact, it was done without his say-so. And also the game also takes supposedly took a lot of reused a bunch of pre-production stuff that they had in mind for the Mad Max Fury Road stuff. So there's a lot of things that are in the new Mad Max game that are almost like they're some of the same characters and a bunch of other things that they kind of pulled. That's why it kind of has that feel of Fury Road, because Fury Road had been in production for so long. There were all these elements that they could easily take and make into a game. And that's what eventually the Mad Max game became.
What studio was working on that?
The Cory Barlog game was actually being done internally at George Miller's company. So he was trying to do it himself. In addition to developing the movie, he was developing a game, an animation, and some comics, which the comics did come out. So yeah, there you go. Theory.
This is how this man plays too much Metal Gear, like all these theories. It's very interesting.
Hey, listen.
Didn't you also say that Cory Barlog was supposed to... Manny, didn't you also say Cory Barlog was like, hey, I got to go talk to George about something?
Yeah, he did an interview at some point where he was like, talking about the game and all that stuff. It was like a podcast he was doing. And he's like, oh yeah, like I'm in Australia and I'm going to, show off the game to George, pretty soon later today. I'm like, why are you showing that to George Miller? I'm thinking at the time. I'm like, oh, because you were working on a fucking Mad Max game that never went anywhere. So here's the thing. Like, again, he was doing it for George Miller's company. It wasn't anything that was probably directly connected to anything. So I'm thinking that maybe he probably did take a lot of those ideas and maybe some story elements from whatever that Mad Max game was and applied them to the new God of War game. It's not unheard of. There are a lot. I mean, even myself, with the stuff that I do in my own, my freelance stuff, I do sometimes bring ideas that I've already developed somewhere else to other studios. But yeah, obviously you don't say those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Right?
Interesting, man.
Hey, if it's in your head and you haven't essentially given your idea all the way away to a big studio, you probably could just reuse the damn stuff. It's not unheard of. I definitely think that Kojima's reusing a bunch of ideas that he had from fucking Silent Hills. I'm sure as hell think he's using that stuff.
Maybe Barlog was just playing The Last of Us and watching Logan and was like, "Oh, I should do something like that."
Well, the thing is, I feel like also, because there are so many things that match that sort of stuff now. It's obviously you can see that stuff, but I definitely think that he might have taken some ideas from that original thing. Might have taken it, but who knows? Maybe it's all new, but I don't think it's all new.
Aren't they all ripping off that Viggo Mortensen movie? The Road.
The Road, yeah. Well, one thing I mean,
shit, that could be done with God of War. Could be referred to that too.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna ask this one question, and I wish that they would send this thing out to everybody in Sony. Stop making those vaulting scenes and lifting up the thing and walking under it scenes. And the walking through, climbing through a really skinny pass, like a crack in a wall. Every single friggin' game, one of those games does it now.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
I feel like that's always been done, even with Uncharted. Remember?
No, Uncharted started that shit because they're friggin' hiding loading sections.
That's okay. Let's get tricked.
I'm like,
why don't you like trickery?
It's so stupid. It's so annoying because I'm like, I know what. I mean, granted, I'm sure that maybe they're loading, maybe they're not. But again, every single one of them does it. It's like they're having a conversation. Oh, go over there, lift it up. Oh, okay, help me with this. Vault me up there so I can throw this ladder down. Come on, guys.
Well, you tell them how to do it then. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You will tell them, give them different ideas how to hide the loading screens then.
Well, no, it's not how the loading screens, but they're following the same formula of things. Like, in other words, why do we constantly have to vault somebody else up onto something to make it look like there's some sort of teamwork happening?
Atreus can't climb, man. He's too little.
No, but again, it's like those same. You always see those, like in Uncharted and in Last of Us. It's always that thing. It's like, oh, help me up there, and then they push down a ladder or they put down a chain.
Yeah,
all of them do it. I just want them.
It's not a big deal though.
It's not a big deal, but it's always the same thing. Watch the next sort of big story game that they're gonna do.
Well, wait,
same sequences.
They did add something new because now when you do the fast travel, it's not really so fast because you're.
I don't know what a fast travel is.
When you're walking around in that void.
What's fast travel?
Adam, Manny he hasn't even gone to the Witch in the Woods yet, man.
Yeah, when you get an N64, you're gonna learn about this. What fast travel is that they take a gem and then they put it up, and then this thing pops up, and they walk through, and then they're like thrown into this mid void, and they have to walk. You just keep walking, and it doesn't matter because it just keeps rendering, and it's basically loading in the background, and then when it's done loading, then the door pops up, and you get out.
Yeah, I don't know what.
He's not up to that.
No, but the point is that's something new.
Fast travel? No fast travel.
No, that type of fast travel. Yeah,
that version. We're not saying a load.
The one where they don't have to put a load screen up.
Yeah, they just
throw you into a loading room.
Yeah,
so they can load the game.
Yeah, and you hear some stories in between.
Yeah, they do some chitter chatter. Yeah. It makes me happy.
Yeah, what's going on, Riku? Don't worry, we're gonna talk about you in a bit, bro.
Happy birthday, Riku.
It's all everybody's birthday, man.
Yeah, right. Because one day I'm gonna be right, and then you're gonna look bad.
Yeah, that is true. That's a fact. It's gonna be somebody's birthday eventually.
There you go.
It's
Black Metal Gamer's birthday tomorrow.
Oh shit! Is he going? He's not going to listen to Demu. He don't like them.
He needs to, though. He needs to.
Now he wants to listen to Dark Throne and fucking Emperor. That's what he listens to. You know, that low produced shit. Anyway, so Adam, you said there was a couple of little things that happened. By the way, we're just fucking around right now.
I'm trying to remember.
You forgot too.
So
You were like, yo, so much shit
Man, we
happened.
thought you were prepared.
That was like 4 hours ago. Shit.
Man, this ain't WrestleCast, motherfucker.
Fucking WrestleCast. We got Dana taking naps in between it so damn long.
Yo, you guys are wild. By the way,
we're like, yo, Dana. And they said, oh, yeah. I think, don't worry, we got 4 more hours of this. It's almost over.
Yo, by the way, Adam, I do find it funny that you weren't on the spoil alert that she was on. I'm like, you ducking her, man? She
sent me a message. She's like, why not? I was like, well, because I like superhero movies every once in a while, but I'm not a big into it. You know what I mean? So my opinion wouldn't really matter.
Yeah, I you know, in my head canon, you just skipped it because you didn't want to hear her shit.
No,
I get enough of that on WrestleCast, man. She always ripping me, son.
Yeah, but wait, you're throwing me off. There's something we were gonna talk about. Shit,
that's up to you, man.
It had something to do with the Switch.
Did something happen with Switch?
Yeah, there was a few things.
Or Labo? The cardboard.
Yeah, the Labo, and then it's just not even affected. It came out, we thought it wasn't selling, or we weren't sure about the numbers. Supposedly, it is flying off the shelf, even though it's at a discount in some places. They said it's super selling, and it's surpassing expectations. It's getting rave reviews from all these outlets, and it's talking about how it's helping people with disabilities, and it's bringing families together, and all this weird shit.
Yeah, right.
So that might be a
Gorla, yeah, right.
It sounds like a spin.
Yeah, it sounds like 150 million people wanting to.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
To build some of those, they were talking about it's like be like 7 to 10 hours just to do the cardboard part.
7 to 10 hours.
They could be playing a real.
Look
they
at
could
the
be
robot
playing a
and
game,
shit.
man. What the fuck?
Just to put the shit together before you even get to play the game takes that long.
God
you know,
damn.
it's like 4 hours just to do the little remote control car one. The vibrator.
Hey, listen. So I was about to say that you can listen to WrestleCast while you do this.
So they can listen while they build this shit. See, it all works.
It's like a timer. It's like it should be done when it's
timer. So it's the fact it takes so long. They were talking about, well, yeah, you know what? These people this is like a family event. You get something like this, you know, you sit around, you spend a whole weekend building it, and then you feel like you accomplished something. You know, you built a toy.
Or you could just buy a puzzle, a 100 piece puzzle, and take that amount of time.
Legos.
You could do it. Yeah, you could do the Legos too.
Legos.
You know, so that was one big piece of, but there was something else with the 3DS. Some big news with the 3DS.
Can I mention something?
I mean, Switch.
So, we've only seen one.
Oh, yeah, that was. Sorry, real quick before I forget. That's right, because it is the 3DS. They announced that they're not going to discontinue it anytime soon.
Of course.
People keep. Well, we knew that.
Yeah.
No, not everybody. I'm telling you, you'd be surprised. A lot of big news outlets were like, "Well, this last year, obviously."
No, they announced they got games coming out next year, bro.
No, that was Brett that was saying that.
Oh shit.
Brett was saying this shit. Yo, Brett in that news.
Brett is the biggest news outlet, don't you know?
Shit. So you know, I figured, and then that's the thing. It's great. I still enjoy the 3DS. I was playing Dr. Mario with my kid. I love it. It's fun.
Did you get a Pokemon game for your kid?
Oh, no. Well, I did, and she just isn't into it. I got her Shuffle?
Yeah.
I got Shuffle, and then I got something that's similar to that. Was it Tourzy or something like that? Something Tourzy, Rumble or something? It's like a puzzle game.
Oh, Pokemon Trozzy.
Trozzy, yeah. Got her the Trozzy one. Thinking that she would like that because she likes matching things up, and she found it boring. But she liked Pokemon movies. And she's always running around with a Pokeball. So I don't.
It's weird because how old is your daughter?
She's 6.
Okay, I was like 8 when I played my first Pokemon game. I was addicted.
Wait,
now what got you into? Was it a movie? Was it a comic? What got you into?
It was
Pokemon?
It was either the cards or I don't remember what it was.
Because this is what happened.
Man, are you that much younger than me?
Who, me?
Yeah, like I swear to God, I played Pokemon Red when I was 15. Because I remember, because I was in driver's ed.
I got it when it came out.
How old are you now?
What's up?
You don't ask a lady her age, man.
Right? Damn, shit, man.
Brett.
Gotta take me to dinner first.
I didn't think Carlos was Carlos, I didn't think you were that much younger than me.
Oh no, I'm in my. Well, I don't know how old you are, Brett, but I'm still in my 20s. I'm like a year older than Brian.
Oh shit! I'm old.
Now you felt your beard your old man beard gray.
I just sprouted another gray hair, man.
Yeah, Brett, don't worry about it. I played Pokemon. It was my freshman year of college, so.
Yeah, when I was 15, Pokemon didn't exist.
No, exactly. When I lived past there was no Pokemon. My brother grew up with Pokemon. You know, he was like, oh, this is the thing that he was doing. But he got into it because of his friends. So my daughter went to a birthday party a few weekends ago, and it was a Pokemon birthday party. And it was all Pokemon stuff, and they gave her like this, the Pokeball and some little toy stuff. And she was like, what is this that they kept talking about? So I put on some movies, and she got hooked with Pikachu, you know, because it's super cute and all that shit. So now she's watching all of those, and she wants to understand it more. So... That's why I asked.
Like, honey, you realize this was created when I was in my
yeah. I mean, I was way past. There was something else. It was Pokemon that was.
Has she seen Pokemon 2000?
No, she watched Pokemon, the movie that came out in 2017, which is like an intro to all that, like a reboot. Yeah, it's the newest one, where it shows Ash running around with Pikachu and doing battles and stuff like that. And I don't know. There's a bunch of them. You recommend something, and I'll get those.
I saw Pokemon 2000 in the theaters.
Yo, look at the emojis Barry Burton's putting up.
He loves it. He's loving this shit. He's like, yo, this is the most engaging conversation ever. Fucking 2+.
By the way, before I forget, and I wanted to mention this, remember we were talking about how like Wii U games were just like shitted on? Like, yeah. A game would come on the Wii U and it would get like a 7 or an 8.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Well, they got good reviews. Just nobody bought it because I remember Mario Kart getting good reviews.
Well, here's the thing. I don't remember Mario Kart, but it's one of these cases, but I don't remember the exact numbers. But Mario Kart got a certain value score on fucking Metacritic, right? But it came out for the Switch. It's a fucking it's 9s everywhere. Same thing is happening right now with Donkey Kong Freeze.
Oh no, that Donkey Kong looks like booty. I'm not touching that shit.
I don't know. Somebody I don't know.
Just the way you said that shit is funny. Yo, by the way, Adam, it's funny because today I got a alert from Amazon. Right? They're like, Donkey Kong is coming tomorrow. I'm like, I guess I bought the shit. I don't even remember.
No, you bought it?
No, I want the game. I genuinely want the game, but I completely forgot I ordered this shit, you know?
Shit, I'd rather have the old school Donkey Kong. I'm surprised that's not there because they have Mario Brothers.
Yeah, because I really like because I like the 3DS Donkey Kong a lot. If that's more of this, I'm like, yeah, give me that shit.
By the way, I pre-ordered the game too, man. I need to play my Switch.
Yeah, I haven't. Did you guys see what I tweeted out the other day? Like it was my nephew playing. I'm like, hey, look, my Switch is actually getting some play. You know, I haven't touched that shit since December. You know,
I'm playing Rocket League
Tony
on it.
What happened?
Who are you inviting into the chat?
Somebody.
And Brawl. Brawl is a fun one. People need to play Brawl. That's a twisted version of a Bomberman. Weird Bomberman clone with evil clowns and stuff.
But yeah, I can't wait to play it again. It's man.
Yo, man, you brought the rope-a-dope. You bought that game again.
Well, I know. But I honestly do want to play my Switch.
Did you sell the Wii U version? Just so you can buy that one?
No, I don't even know where it's at. Let me see.
They should give you a free upgrade system. Come on, guys.
Oh, no.
You know, I'm kind of glad Johnny called that out on Twitter because it vindicates my argument I made way back with Mario Kart. Remember when the debate I had? Remember I was told I was crazy for looking at statistics and saying that that the Switch reviews don't, are inflated.
Oh, but Chris, check this out. I just went to Jack Move's tweet because I retweeted it too.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong on the Wii U got a 6 on GameSpot.
Yeah.
It got a 9 on the Switch on the same site.
That shit is fire now, son. You don't know.
You know what?
Was it the same reviewer though?
But you know what? I noticed that, and I think it was IGN that got called out on it regarding it, because I remember this, and they said, well, it's the portability factor that just amps up and adds the added bonus points.
But
The fact that
portability
you can
doesn't
go with your boys.
Portability doesn't make a bad game good.
Hey,
Nope, but it changes the context in which the game is viewed. And this is,
yeah,
I'm not excusing it. I'm not. Although I will say portability is one of the reasons that I have my Switch and I like games on the Switch, it doesn't make the games better.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is a frustration of mine because here's the problem is people look at it like, well, you can't expect it to be, the blah blah blah. Like they expected more from the Wii U than they expect from the Switch. They expected games to look better on the Wii U than they expected them to look on the Switch. Because they're just kind of expecting the Switch to be gimped, and so they're just like, wow. I mean, it's like having a fat child in track and field.
whoa, damn, getting there personal with people, shit.
It's just one of those like, man, like if you have a husky kid and you're like, oh shit, he ran a 12-minute mile, really? I mean, I wouldn't have expected him to do that. But you get like a fit, normal kid, and you're like a 12-minute mile, motherfucker.
Normal kid, whoa.
Hold on. So this is the way I'm interpreting it. You're saying that people have lower expectations for Switch.
Yes, because it is the quote unquote hybrid console. It's not a pure console. They don't have as high expectations for it.
Interesting.
They inherently assume that it's going to have the same power discrepancy that a laptop. And I'm not even saying they go this far, but they people are conditioned to believe that
just because it's small, it doesn't mean it. I mean, the damn thing is more powerful than a friggin' Wii U.
And that's the weird thing. But they're thinking because the Wii U is a console that plugs in, that it doesn't have an excuse, and because the Switch gets pulled out and you can take it with you, that it has an excuse, and that gives it like this weird gimme. I'm not saying it's right. It's just one of those like people are just of this mindset where, and I don't think they realize it, but they just kind of. It's not that they're giving bonus points to the Switch because it's a Nintendo product. They're just kind of giving a handicap because they're expecting it to be, of an inferior fidelity anyway.
People are stupid, so I could kind of I don't know if I agree with that, but I can see where you're coming from.
Because I remember when that came out, a lot of people were buying they thought that first it was a tablet. They were like, oh yeah, well I'm getting this because then I can play it and go. And then a lot of people didn't understand the difference between the Wii and the Wii U. They thought it was like an attachment piece.
Yeah, well, because of the name confusion.
Yeah, it was confusing.
All right, by the way,
Breath of the Wild, Tony.
Yeah.
If Breath of the Wild had come out, or a Breath of the Wild style game had come out on PlayStation or Xbox, people might say like, oh, it's got a very unique art style. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of the cell shading, but it definitely helps set itself apart from the pack. It's all right. It's not great. But because it was on the Switch, everyone couldn't believe. They're like, oh my God, this game is gorgeous. Like, yes, it's pretty for what it's doing, but it's also dumbed down. But they're like, well, yeah, but I mean, it's portable, so you really can't expect it to look much better than this. And for being portable, it looks fucking gorgeous. And like right in that sentence right there is where I hear the thing that I'm talking about, where I'm like, okay, so it's not. I don't even think you're getting a Nintendo boost. You just have lower expectations because you can take this thing with you.
Yeah, all right. I'll cut it off now because I do want to move on to the last segment here. Oh, Brian, I fucking knew it. Go ahead.
And one more.
But wait a minute, Tony. You just said we had nothing else to talk about.
No, because now we filled up the time.
We still got 3 more hours. What is your
this
rush?
ain't
Where
WrestleCast,
Where
motherfucker.
you gotta go?
This ain't WrestleCast, and I'm trying to. Because I have a very special guest. I want to bring it in. I don't want this dude waiting all fucking night. But anyway, Brian, go ahead.
Okay, Carlos. Okay, I understand what you're saying, and I had a similar thing when I was looking at the reviews for Killzone. I found IGN to be very inconsistent, and then I looked and I found out it was different reviewers. So, with your example of the game that you said on GameSpot that got like different of like 3 or 4 points on the platform, was it the same guy that reviewed it? Because if it was a different person, then you can kind of half get away with that. Whereas if it's the same person, then that's pure hypocrisy right there.
I don't know if it's the
Yeah.
same person.
Yeah, I'd have
but-
to go look at the two reviews.
Yeah, we have to
like-
look that up.
Different
I
strokes for
here's the thing.
different
It
folks.
probably is different people, but I just find it very funny that they gave it these like a 3-point boost just because it's portable. Very interesting. But anyway, I want to do this now. Come in now, bro. Jump into the chat. Okay, so we're gonna do something a little different for Throwdown, streams or whatever the fuck we call this show. We keep
Game
changing
night.
the name, Game Night, whatever the fuck it's called now. By the way, 182 episodes. I still call it the Question Show because that was the original shit. Anyway, so we're gonna do something different, right? For the next until he beats the entire game, we're gonna have a special guest streaming for us every weekend, and that person is the only one, Riku-san one.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Can anybody hear me?
What's going on, brother?
Oh, man, who is this motherfucker?
Yeah. All
Oh,
right.
is that Brett? My nigga Brett. Yo, what's good, Brett?
What up,
Spin the
homie?
belt.
All right. Riku,
Yo, what's
man,
up,
tell the
everybody?
people, what are you going to be doing for Throwdown for the next, few months, maybe? Who knows?
Shit, man, I don't even know. But game night. What, tomorrow and
Yeah,
Saturday?
Yeah.
Yes, I want to be streaming that Final Fantasy VII. I want to see if the hype is real. I want to see if the hype is right. Everyone always talking about it. They're one of their favorite games of all time. One of their
First
favorite.
time?
Oh yeah, for the first time.
Oh,
So-
all right, everybody. This is a big deal. You gotta watch somebody fall in love for the first time with Final Fantasy VII. You
Either
don't
that or
lose
Wait,
those
wait,
chicken
wait,
balls.
wait, wait,
wait,
wait. No,
wait,
no,
wait.
no, no. He's played this before.
No, he
No,
never
I
played it.
haven't. Just last year, I just got into Final Fantasy. Before last year, I've never played a Final
Holy
Fantasy.
shit, rub a dirty
Yeah.
nipple. I
Dude,
would have never
and Riku
thought
can,
that shit.
Riku
What
can
the
enjoy
hell?
an old game. Like he
Yeah.
can legitimately enjoy it. So like
It's the
for
best one
real,
in the
you'll be
series.
able to see somebody experience Final Fantasy VII for the first fucking time.
Yeah, man.
like
I
20
keep on
years since
hearing
I
all
seen
this
that
hype,
shit.
man. I keep on hearing all this hype. So yeah, what was it like early this year? I was hopping in and out of Throwdown episodes saying, "Oh yeah, I'm on Final Fantasy 4. I'm on Final Fantasy 5. I'm on Final Fantasy 6, nigga." And now I'm here. We here. We in this bitch. Final Fantasy 7, man.
We have
so
arrived.
right
You're
now.
gonna be disappointed from here on out, folks. So you want to watch
Dang.
this one?
Dang.
Now,
Well-
a couple of things I do want to. I want to iron this out on air, right now, Riku, because you play a lot, right? So
Uh-huh.
my thing to you is, I'm gonna say play whenever you want. Just obviously do not play Thursday night and
Uh-huh.
Sunday night. Other
Makes
than
sense.
that, people, Riku's gonna play when he plays. So just stay tuned, because Riku, I want you to play the game from beginning to end, the whole fucking thing, even if it's like 20 parts.
Oh, really? Okay. Because I was wondering that. I was like, I know how when you stream on YouTube, which I was on Twitter trying to figure out Twitch or YouTube. So we're gonna do it through YouTube.
Yeah.
And I know when you stream stuff on YouTube, YouTube archives it and puts it in your
Exactly.
video thing, right?
Exactly.
So
And then they sell it.
that is true. They do sell it. Yeah, I was wondering how many YouTube videos you guys wanted me to like put up on this. I don't
as
How
many
would you
as it
Read
takes.
Final
make like
Fantasy
20.
7 live stream 38.
However many is it takes to get you to the end. I think that
Yes.
is really cool.
I mean, it's easily a 40 to 80 hour game. So there's going to be a lot there. But I swear to God, I'm going to learn to edit just so I can like ham fist chop edit together like a best of. Just like 3 to 5 minutes of you reacting just like to all the key points of the game sloppily edited together.
Oh my god, that's amazing idea, actually.
So it's funny because usually when I play
What if he doesn't like it?
Hey, Brett, I have another
That's
idea.
okay.
Brett, I have
What's that?
another idea, because I'm guessing you're gonna watch these. Why don't you just tell me the highlights and I'll edit them? It'll be perfect. You have the you're gonna look through them and I'll do the actual editing. Oh my god, that is great. That is a great fucking idea, dude. Let's do this.
Dude,
So
yeah,
question-
just
question.
Trevor like crying, laughing, screaming, crying, screaming, throwing a controller, blank
Yeah, because
couch.
Rico, we're expanding shit. So not only are you gonna have your streams, but we're also gonna have like highlights.
Cool. So I got a question about the censorship. So what is the okay and the not okay for me to be saying on this stuff?
All right, stay away. Here's the thing. It's like
You can't say like dirty Jew and
yeah, like
can't
stay away from
speak and those type of
overly
things.
racist stuff.
I'd personally
obviously.
appreciate if you'd
Okay.
stay away from
Okay.
Potato Digger.
Yeah, potato digger. That's a porch
Okay.
stuff. Just try to keep it family friendly. Just
no,
curse
not
words.
family friendly. We keep
He
it
said-
real on Throwdown. You know,
Just curse words.
That's what you hear in the family,
no.
though.
Riku, you know what?
Casual.
More or less talk, but you try if you can, because I know your boys are gonna be there in there too.
Yeah, they gonna be crazy, man. You know how I am.
Just chill out with the homophobic stuff. I'll just say it like that,
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I asked for a reason.
Yeah, don't be calling people the F word. Don't
If
be
you
saying
can
the
just
F word.
Stay away
None
from
of that.
sexual and racial slurs, and you're good.
Yes. But Riku, you're also black, so you can say nigga. Don't worry about that.
Nigga. Let's fucking go.
No.
Is there a way that he can like start the show being like, all right, before I get this, I just need to let everybody know I'm black.
Yeah.
But then if they jump in halfway, they may not know.
Yeah, don't worry about that. But yeah, anything racist, homophobic, stay away from that. Because even if it's jokes, people may take it the wrong way.
Yeah,
you know how
true.
that is,
True.
But yeah, other
this is
than
why I
that,
asked
brother,
for
do what you want to do.
yeah.
And I'm giving you that free space. Unless it's Thursday night or Sunday night, stream whatever the fuck you want.
Cool.
You know?
Yeah, I'm because you know me. I'm gonna try and fucking tackle that platinum.
Yeah.
Oh shit! That means he's gonna do Ruby and Emerald.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, because I definitely want to stream the my first playthrough.
Yes.
So as far as like anything after that of platinum, we'll see about that. But I don't know if because I don't know if anybody just wants to watch me farm and whatnot. But definitely the first playthrough, at least to the credits.
You'd be surprised. People will watch you get the golden chocobo, and that is some grindy motherfucking shit.
Yeah,
right
I did
there.
that shit. Yep.
Here's also the other thing. At least for this game, there's a point of no return at certain points in the game where you can't get back to certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is try to keep an extra save at a certain point in the game, just in case. Unfortunately, there's no disc anymore to kind of tell you that you're getting close. But yeah.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
This is exciting, man. This is exciting, people. Again, obviously, besides the days I told you, stream whenever you want to do as many streams as you need to. This is crazy, man.
Yeah, I guess you could just like make it like a playlist of like and then slap them on there.
Well, we already have the game night playlist, so we can just.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna make a specific one for this one.
Oh,
yeah. If this is as long as we think this is gonna be, it might need its own playlist. What were you gonna say, Carlos?
Since we're teasing future programming on this channel, we might be doing something during E3, and that's all I'll say.
Ooh, tease.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I mean, it's gonna happen. It's just we'll tell you guys in a month or so. We can't tell you right now. Even though, by the way, you notice people already doing their E3 predictions. I'm like, aren't you guys a little early for that shit?
They're like, yo, man, it's never too early.
No,
Don't you guys have to wait for the Microsoft leaks to make those predictions?
You saw those fake Microsoft leaks? People crazy, man.
Yeah.
But
make a portable Xbox in your pocket. What?
Going into Final Fantasy VII right now, currently my favorite Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy V.
Nengen Benjamin says, "Where do you get PlayStation Black hat color?"
PlayStation Black.
Where'd you get your PlayStation hat?
I don't have it.
There's a special story from that.
There's a story. You could get it if you're a PlayStation Sony employee. There's a story for that. Okay, so it's not a secret. I'm friends with Gio Corsi, right? And he hooked me up with like a special Sony employee only hat. So that's how I got it. Which is pretty dope. So that's how. So you can't buy that, unfortunately. By the way, I should have worn that hat tonight because that hat actually lets you breathe in the back, and I'm fucking hot right now wearing this shit. It's like 90 degrees.
Yeah, because you were wearing that hat at when you did the Tony's Take today. Plug.
The other Sony hat. That one you can buy. That one's available. It's a black hat with the gray Sony logo. Mm-hmm. That's available. You can buy that. But the one that's black, I wish I had it here. Yeah, you can't. That's not for sale, man. So I'm kind of privileged to have that. But anyway, yes, Riku. So yeah, just as many as it takes, brother. As many as it takes.
Yeah, I see someone in the comment section. Visho Thind.
Yes, my boy right there, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna read one of his comments. He says, "Seems like Riku was waiting for Final Fantasy VII remake, but gave up on it." I technically it's backwards. I wanted to get to this one and play this before the remake came out, so I can be there with everybody all ready for the remake, and be,
Appalled or amazed.
Appalled.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. I just want to be caught up with, the series.
Yo, I think Mighty
for-
Nerd has a crush on Dana. This is the third time you're asking about her, son. He's like, "Will she be at E3?" I'm not sure. By the way, so dude, this is the hat you're talking about, right? Hold on. Yeah, that you can't buy this hat, bro.
Oh,
I don't know if you
dang.
can see it too well, but yeah, you can't buy the hat.
That's cool ass shit.
Yeah, it's cool. The only thing about this hat is it's kind of uncomfortable to wear with headphones because they kind of push my ears out a little bit, and then it crushes my headphones. But like on days like this, it's definitely good because it breathes in the back, So yeah, Mighty Nerd. He's funny. Like, yo, Dana gonna be there, son?
Well, you can find Dana tomorrow for 4 or 5 hours on the WrestleCast.
There you go, man. I hope you like wrestling. But
That's it, man. On that match.
Yeah. So Riku, man, thank you for that, for volunteering. That's very fucking cool. And you did it on your own. Like, yo, can I stream this? I'm like, hell yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah,
We've been kind of talking about this one for a while, though.
Yeah, because I think when I asked you, I was starting 6.
Yeah.
Or ending 5 or something
you
like
asked
that.
us before that, bro. I think you were like 3 or something,
Oh shit. Yeah.
And you're like, well, I'm gonna eventually get there. You want to stream it, something like that. Yeah. I think
because I said I was gonna stream it on my shit anyway, so I was like, shit, I might as well, since you guys are doing it over there. What's up, Brett?
So you just finished 6, right?
I finished 6 back in February, like late February.
What did you think of 6? Because it is definitely in my top 3.
6. Okay, so I said 5 is my favorite, but out of the 6 that I've played, 6 is the best. So right now, my top 3 favorites, it's 5, and then 4, and then 6. But as far as what I think are the best, it's 6, 4, 5.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Reverse order.
So your favorite is you think is the third best done game
out of the 6 that I've played. Yeah.
What makes it your favorite specifically then?
I would probably say it's the class system. The class system in 5 is just so, especially for its time, it's so fun. It's so good to mix and match classes. Having a paladin that can heal or a dark knight that can use,
Are you gonna play the PS1 version of Final Fantasy Tactics?
I have the PSP version, War of the Lions.
That's not the same.
Someone was saying that.
I heard War of the Lions is better though.
I heard War of the Lions is better, but I heard the PS1 version is harder. And
the PS1 version is harder. There's permadeath, and you actually get a cross-class freely. The new one is more closed traditional RPG.
Yeah, I heard, like I said, I've heard of many things. I know some people that prefer the old one. I heard some people that prefer the new one, but I already spent my money on the PSP version. So I'm like, well, might as well play this one.
Yeah, that's true.
They're both good. The old one plays more like Disgaea.
I was thinking about getting into Disgaea. I heard they're bringing the remake of 1 to PS4.
Like, what's going on, Techno Fabulous? And since you're here, I got to give it to you, man. Call of Duty. By the way, I played a little bit of War of the Lions. I think it took me like 14 hours or something. I was grinding, and I was just the first chapter. I'm like, man, fuck this shit. I stopped playing it. I didn't like that gameplay, man. That strategy turn-based shit. I did not like that at all, man. Which is funny because I loved it in Valkyria Chronicles, but I couldn't stand it. That grid shit, I'm like, not feeling that rainbow, man.
That's weird. I need to play more games that have the grids because right now I like one that has it. I want to play more that are like it, like the Sky and whatnot. As far as after Final Fantasy VII, I want to continue to stay on my order path. So, as far as Final Fantasy VIII, right now there is not a PS4 port version
I was
of
gonna
that.
ask you about that because I wanted you to play all of them, like not all of them, but the main ones after this. Like I wanted you to play 7, 8, and 9 specifically.
Yeah, when I definitely
want to hear how disappointed he is.
Yes, I do.
Hey, and that's the thing, man. I know some people that will that swear by 8 also. So
yeah, I do too. Unfortunately,
that's crazy.
Y'all have some weird friends.
You swear
But-
at 8?
I'm not.
They swear at
I'm
it.
not
They swear
gonna.
on
I'm not gonna name names, but Manny, some of you guys are gonna know who this is. One of our friends that likes it. He is also a big fan of Wild Wild West.
Oh,
Dang.
I love you, man. I'll see you at E3 next month, brother. He knows what I'm talking about. So yeah,
yes.
so let me ask you, how are you gonna get around the 8th situation?
So what I want to do after I finish 7, let's say it's all platinumed and done, and there has still not even been an announcement for a Final Fantasy VIII PS4 port
Yeah.
yet. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait a little longer and go back to my PS1 backlog, because I still want to play some more classes like Suikoden, Xenogears. I finished Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross. I want to get to that. What was the other one? Breath of Fire. All those classic ones. But as far as I'm still thinking about just playing a few more of those. If it's still not announced, just going over to 9. And then when 8 comes out, starting on 8, because as far as I heard, the time span between when 7, 8, and 9 came out were really close. So all of those games, like, I shouldn't, I'm not going to feel that much of a, significant difference between if I go from 8 and then go from 9 and go back to 8.
And Enrico, you're obviously not worried about the story. You're more worried about how you want to see how the mechanics have evolved with each game, right?
I'm worried about both.
Okay.
I do care about the story, but if I get spoiled, I'm not gonna get hurt.
Yeah, I'm talking because you could literally play any Final Fantasy game in whatever order you want.
Definitely. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from when it comes to that. I thought you were talking about trying to see how.
I have a theory. I don't think that's entirely true, Tony.
No, we're not gonna get.
I don't know. We're not gonna get into it, especially because I'm not gonna spoil this motherfucker.
So yeah, we'll see what happens with 9, but I definitely want to. I definitely want to stream 9, even 10. Yeah, because I have the PS4 version of 10.
10 would be good, yeah, for sure.
Dude, I'd almost tell you it'd be a.
Huh?
The jump from 7 to 8 was really weird, and then they kind of jumped back to the flavor of kind of somewhere in between for number 9. So playing 7 into 9 and then 8 may actually transition better than 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, that's a good point, because 9 is more like 7. 8 is weird,
Is it?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Gameplay wise, everything wise, is
everything
weird.
changes, and then they kind of brought it back for 9.
Yeah, every time I hear about 8, I hear someone's like, "That stupid fucking junction system." I'm like, junction system? What are they talking about? Whatever.
Junction, what's your
You know what? We'll let it be a surprise.
Yeah, we'll see. That's all I know about 8 is some emo dude, a gunblade, and something about a junction system. That's all I know.
And triple triad. God.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, I also have 12 on my PS4 also. So whenever the fuck I get to that, I would like to stream that too.
Cool.
But we talking about by the time I get to 12, it might be end of 2019. Who the fuck knows? We might be playing PS5.
Throwdown episode 300 by that point.
Yeah. But yeah, tune in, people. Tune in. I'm thinking about doing it around 9:30 tomorrow, but we'll see. But I should be like tweeting something out. But yeah, I'm looking at around that time.
Yeah, man. Whenever you're free, man. That's fucking awesome, dude. Again, I want to thank you for that. It's going to be really cool content with the people, man. Cool.
Yeah, guys, stay tuned.
All right, cool, man. All right, so and also since we're teasing shit. So on top of that, Enrique, I guess you and I will work out the times here because I'm going to be doing this thing. I'm not going to name names until the game comes out, but somebody that we all know, we are all here because of this one man. He brought us all together. He likes
Jesus.
Yeah, because of Jesus, obviously.
Jesus from the Bronx.
Big black gaming Jesus in this case. So he likes to see people get tortured. He likes misery, right? So I'm going to subject myself to this misery for you guys. So I'm going to be playing games I wouldn't normally play, or genres I wouldn't normally play, or genres I flat out hate for you guys. And the first one I'm going to play probably on Monday night is going to be Fortnite. Tony's going to be playing this shit. So expect 2 hours of me cursing and getting fucking annoyed.
That is beautiful.
Shit.
When are you doing this?
Monday night. So if you want to see Tony get frustrated, and the thing is, as much as I hate it, I'm locked in there for 2 fucking hours minimum. I'm locked in there. I can't just give up. So be prepared for that. And if that episode takes this is just a test. If it does good, then I'll do more. If it doesn't, then
So define.
Can I play along / antagonize you?
What's the?
We'll see what happens. What happens?
Define does good to you.
What happened? Numbers.
Yeah. So I mean,
like
as far as
if we get 50 hits, then fuck it. This shit is done. But if we get because usually when we stream, we get a good one like total on YouTube. I'll about 130, right? If we get 120, 130, I'm gonna consider that a success, and I'll keep it going.
Okay.
And then here's the thing: I'm probably gonna because it's just a test right now. I'm probably gonna just play Fortnite for a month, and if it does well, because again, you can't just test it off on one stream. You got to do multiple. So if it does well, then I'm gonna start taking suggestions from people. So I will play bullshit like RTS games or shit like that.
Dynasty Warriors, baby, let's go.
Yeah, it's shit like
Heroes
that.
of the Storm.
No, you got.
I could see this being so entertaining.
The only caveat here is, and I'm just keeping it real, right? Because remember, these are games I would normally play. They either have to be free to play games, or you motherfuckers send me these games to play. I'm not paying a cent.
Free to play. Hold on, wait.
Heroes of the Storm.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, so just keep that in
mind. Warframe, baby.
I liked Warframe. That shit doesn't count, I just got bored of it, but I liked Warframe. They got robots in it. How am I not gonna like it?
Robot alien ninjas, man.
Yeah,
Jeez.
come on, Rico. Remember when we played that shit? That shit was fun, man.
Yeah.
Warframe doesn't count. I like that game. Fortnite, the choice of the Twitch generation. Jesus, yeah. So anyway, I'm going to commit seppuku for you people. So we'll see.
so that article about the 150 million just got one person closer to that number, man.
That's right, man. All right, so that's gonna pretty much do it for us. So again, I always forget to put up the little title here. Here we go. All right, so thank you for watching and listening. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on who this fuck just gave us money. Hold on a second.
Yeah, we need to stop.
Call of Duty. What the fuck?
Who said money?
Techno Fabulous. Thank you for the super chat and fucking up the outro. But you know
he did that on purpose.
Yeah, but if that's how you fuck up the outro, that's a good fucking way to fuck up the outro.
Thank you, Techno Fabulous.
I'm all fucked up right now. Anyway, man, we'll see y'all next time, man. So once again, our show is Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
Yo, man, it'll take me like a year to finish off God of War. I'll tell you how it was.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Call of Duty.
Brett Murdoch.
This is everybody.
Adam Vale.
For you guys that missed Tony Hawk, pick up Thug Pro free PC. What?
Brian Manjoma.
Yeah, go watch Avengers. It's apparently really, really good.
Fake news.
Apparently.
And Riku-san won, the only one.
Yeah, peace out, people, man. I hope you slide through. If you don't, it's all good. But yeah, it's gonna be crazy because, like I said, I'm gonna be in my chat rooms. We're gonna be chopping it up. So it's just not gonna be me sitting there breathing into the mic, playing it. I'm gonna be like conversations with my friends in the chat also, and I'll try to pay attention to the group chat.
Yeah, don't worry, Mighty Nerd. I'll tell Dina you like her. All right, guys. We'll see you on Sunday, and Riku will see you tomorrow night, man. It'll be crazy.
Yeah, people.
All right, guys. Peace out.
Peace.
Latest.
See you.
Later, people.